Hi everyone, Alan from Newlands Nursery. Hope you are well. Welcome to today's 5-Minute Friday, and today we are producing cuttings and growing cuttings for scented geraniums. It might seem like a strange time of year to do it, but actually, believe it or not, traditionally on this nursery, this is what we did through the winter months. We would take cuttings from a lot of geraniums. I know it's a pelargonium, but in the UK they're known as geraniums. We take them this time of year and then grow them on ready for sale in the spring. So you can do exactly the same. The only caveat is you are going to need a nice bright windowsill, which lots of people have. And ideally we're looking for temperatures around 20 degrees to get them to root their best. But if you can do that, then it's nice and easy, and most people can. Okay, so first off you need a mother plant. This is scented geranium fragrance, which has got a lovely fragrance to it. And we're going to take the cutting from this. You don't want to really strip it full of cuttings. So something like this, the size of this plant, which lots of you will have a geranium about this size, I could take 5 or 6 cuttings off. I'm only going to take one today, but it gives you an idea of what you could do. So the first thing I want to do is fill this pot with some compost. Fill it almost all the way to the top, okay? Don't go right to the top. If you go right to the top, when you water it, all the water gushes off the top of it, which is a bit of a pain, really. When you water, you want it to go into the compost, obviously. So I've got a dibber. You can use a pencil or something like that. Nice sharp pair of pruning scissors. You could use a knife as well if you wanted, but be careful if you do. And I'm going to take this cutting and put it into this pot. Okay, so what we're looking for is a stem of at least, let's say, 2 inches long. And I'm going to cut it just above a leaf node, but not too close to the leaf node. Geraniums don't particularly like being cut too close. So that gives you a cutting of that sort of size. Now we need obviously a stem to be able to place into the compost. So in this particular case with this cutting, I'm going to take these bottom 2 leaves off. Okay, just like that. In fact, actually what I'm going to do is take the bottom 3 leaves off. So it is a case of assessing how much do I have to put into the compost just to hold it steady, and that will tell you how much you want to cut off. Okay, so now we've got a nice cutting, nice and neat, using the sharp pair of scissors, and then I'll make a hole in the compost just to place the cutting into. So I place it into the compost. Don't push it down, you can bruise the base of a cutting, and then just tuck it in just like that. The compost wants to be firmed around the base of the cutting, but it doesn't want to be compacted. You don't want to give it any harder time to root than you have to. Now, something people will often ask is why we don't use rooting hormone. The main reason we don't isn't anything to do with whether it's good or not. I suppose it is to a certain degree. It's just purely down to the fact that with something like this, we've never seen significant differences in using rooting hormone. But if you have success with using it, then definitely use your gel or your powder of rooting hormone and dip the base of the cutting in the hormone before placing it in the compost. But that's basically it. You've taken the cutting. It's done. So we then give it a nice good watering. Gently at first, make sure it soaks all the way into the compost and starts coming out the base of the pot. And then I'd place it on a windowsill. I'm going to put it in our propagating house, which we're lucky to have, but a lot of people now have propagators and it would work well in there. I'm not going to cover it. So geraniums like a little bit of airflow. They can rot off too much if you have not basically without a lot of air around the cutting. So we like a little bit of airflow around them, but we keep the compost moist just until it roots, and it will start rooting and start growing before you know it. So it's a fantastic time of year to do it. As long as you've got a nice light windowsill and a temperature of around 20 degrees, you'll do absolutely fine. If you've got any questions at all, get in contact. See you soon.